Hey, what's going on everyone? TTL here with another video, and today we're going to go over the top junglers in the newest patch, patch 11.17. Before I get into why I picked what champions are in what tier, I do want to point out I only picked 4 or 5 champions for each tier. This is because I prefer to go over the top picks from each tier and let you know in depth why they are in the tier that they are. Yes, Lee Sin is still an S tier pick, but he's been there for so long I didn't feel the need to go over why he is an S tier pick. Every jungle champion belongs somewhere in this list, and if you have any questions regarding your main champion if he's not on here, or even if he is and you question why he is in A tier or B tier, feel free to comment down below. There weren't an insane amount of jungle changes this patch. Evelynn got 20 seconds taken off of her R cooldown, which allows for more ganking opportunities, and Rengar got a lot of changes to his kit that allow him to be more of a jungler rather than a top laner. With that being said, in the S tier we have Zac, Kha'Zix, Xin Zhao, and Evelynn. Zac is an S tier jungler because of his ganking opportunities. Zac's E range is so massive that you can almost always find an area that is not warded and will still reach into the lane that you are intent on ganking. You build your Sunfire Aegis and get a Thornmail or a Spirit Visage and are all of a sudden super tanky and still able to 1v1 most champions. Yeah, I know, really fair. Kha'Zix has been an S tier jungler for pretty much the entire season. This patch did include some item changes to Kha'Z's core build, but I do not see the Serpent's Fang nerf being too big of a deal. Instead, you can build Yumu's since it has now been buffed. Kha'Zix is able to one-shot any carry in the game and is able to go with an Assassin build or with a Bruiser Gourd Drinker build. I highly recommend giving him a shot as he is my personal favorite jungler and is very, very diverse. Xin Zhao is another jungler that has been S tier for the past few patches. Nothing new here, he's still really strong and is pretty much a picker ban in any high elo match. He's able to close the gap and get onto the squishies that need to be killed, and is able to ignore everyone else with his ultimate. Last but not least, Evelynn has moved up to S tier because of her RCDR being decreased by 20 seconds at level 6. This doesn't seem like a huge buff, but when you actually play Evelynn and you realize how big of a difference that this makes, it's a big deal. When you are playing Evelynn, your goal is to get level 6 as safely as possible, and then gank permanently, going lane to lane to lane. Having a shorter cooldown on her ultimate ability allows for more diving opportunities, as well as just giving her that extra damage that she needs more often. As for the A tier, we have Rengar, Kindred, Shaco, Karthus, and Amumu. Rengar is put into the A tier, but could be considered S tier depending on how the changes actually play out. He should be able to return to the form that he was in 4 or 5 seasons ago, and should be able to be a menace in the jungle yet again. Kindred is in the A tier simply because of her skill cap. This champion is an absolute monster if played by the correct player, and once you get used to knowing where her marks are going to spawn, and are able to track the enemy jungler efficiently, she becomes a champion that allows you to easily carry games. Next, we have Shaco, who has been a champion with a lot of controversy recently with his bug fix coming into the game and then them putting the bug back because it felt terrible. He's just back in a position that he can carry games and assassinate the enemy's carries. Shaco is an A tier champion because of his damage and diversity. He's able to go either AP or AD, whichever your team needs and whichever fits with your team comp, and is able to deal tons of damage either way he goes. Karthus is a champion that I have absolutely loved these past few seasons. If you enjoy playing farming junglers and need magic damage on your team, Karthus is a great pick. He's able to just continuously farm, and although his Q can be hard to hit at times, you get so far ahead in farm and you're up in levels so far that you do not even need to hit your Q. You simply keep farming and check on the laners to see how low the enemy's HP is, picking off easy kills just by using your ultimate in the jungle. Finally, we have Amumu as an A tier champion. Amumu has a lot of changes, allowing him to use Q twice, with a new one charging every 14 seconds. This change is the biggest change to the champion and should make him feel a lot better to play. He still has a lot of damage and looks to be in a terrific position in patch 11.17. For the B tier, we have Vi, Volibear, Warwick, Graves, and Olaf. And for the C tier, we have Hecarim, Sylas, Rumble, and Jax. These B tier champions are still viable, just not as great as the champions in the higher tiers. The C tier champions are champions that used to be terrific and great in the jungle, but are starting to fade away and not be as viable to play anymore, especially in solo queue. There are certain team comps and times that would be good for these champions, but overall they are just not great. This was my jungle tier list for patch 11.17. If you disagree with any of the placements, please let me know why in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed, give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more educational content. I'll see you guys next time.